The Canadian Citizenship Test requires memorizing hundreds of isolated facts, dates of battles, names of explorers, and a litany of geographical and legal terms. If studied in isolation, these details function only as rote trivia, but when synthesized, they form the technical specification sheet of a modern state. This specification is anchored in an 800-year-old tradition of ordered liberty, dating back to the Magna Carta in 1215. This established the rule of law, the principle that both individuals and governments are regulated by law rather than arbitrary actions. That tradition culminated in 1867 with the British North America Act, which founded the country under its first Prime Minister, Sir John A. Macdonald. We can reconstruct the mechanics of this framework by building it from its foundational principles. The structure relies on three distinct operating systems: the constitutional monarchy, the parliamentary democracy, and the federal state.
Memorizing facts provides the raw data. Understanding this architecture shows how that data translates into the active exercise of power. This model begins at the apex of the system, the constitutional monarchy. There is a rigid dividing line here, separating the head of state from the daily operations of the government. The head of state is the sovereign. Canada is the only constitutional monarchy in North America, a legacy of its inherited British constitutional tradition. For 7 decades, this role was personified by Queen Elizabeth II, whose reign encompassed the most significant modern amendments to the Canadian system. Operationally, the sovereign has no political role in the daily democratic decision-making of the country. Instead, the sovereign acts as the guardian of constitutional freedoms, ensuring that the state functions according to the rules of the law rather than the whims of politicians. Because the sovereign is typically non-resident, the system requires local proxy representation to execute these duties. These proxies are the Governor General at the federal level and the lieutenant governors who represent the Crown in each of the 10 provinces. By decoupling the head of state from partisan politics, the system ensures that ultimate legal authority remains neutral and continuous, regardless of which party wins an election. Below that dividing line, political power is contested through the mechanism of parliamentary democracy. The system is built on 308 individual electoral districts, also known as ridings or constituencies. Citizens aged 18 and older use a secret ballot to elect a single MP to represent their district. This process populates the House of Commons, which serves as the representative chamber of the people. To gain executive power, a political party must secure a plurality of seats. If a party holds at least half, it is a majority government. The leader is invited by the Governor General to become Prime Minister. As the head of government, the Prime Minister selects cabinet ministers to manage federal departments and direct the policy of the country. However, this power is conditional. The Prime Minister and cabinet must retain the confidence of the House to continue governing. If the government is defeated on a major vote, they lose that confidence and are required to resign. This accountability also dictates how a proposed bill becomes a law. A bill passes 3 readings in the House of Commons before going to the Senate. Once passed by both chambers, it moves to the final stage, royal assent. This is granted by the Governor General on behalf of the sovereign, making the bill a law. Because the Prime Minister and Cabinet are drawn directly from the elected legislature, the executive branch remains accountable to the representatives of the people. The third pillar of the architecture is the federal state, a structure established in 1867 to unify a massive and diverse geography. Federalism distributes power vertically across tiers of government. The federal government manages national and international matters like defense and foreign policy. Parallel to this are the 10 provinces and 3 territories, holding significant power over daily life. The provinces are responsible for education, the management of natural resources, and the delivery of healthcare. This division allows regional economies to thrive based on their unique geography. The foundational tier of this structure is the municipal government. Led by mayors and councils, these local bodies pass bylaws that regulate the immediate community. They manage essential infrastructure, urban planning, sanitation, emergency services, and community health. By matching the scale of government to the scale of the problem, the federal system prevents central overreach while accommodating the needs of a massive nation. This machinery governs a complex population built on 3 founding peoples: Aboriginal, French, and British.
From the 1800s to the 1980s, the federal government forcibly placed Aboriginal children in residential schools as part of an assimilation policy. In response to such complexities, the state evolved new legal safeguards, like the 1969 Official Languages Act, which established the equal status of English and French in all federal services. In 1982, the system was amended to entrench these principles directly into the written constitution. This created the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, the supreme law that defines the relationship between the state and the citizen. The Charter legally protects fundamental liberties, including mobility rights, multiculturalism, and Aboriginal treaty rights. These rights are balanced by core responsibilities, such as obeying the law and taking responsibility for oneself and one's family. This vital constitutional layer ensures the democratic engine cannot be used to strip fundamental liberties from the individual. Each component, the Crown, the Parliament, the jurisdictional tiers, and the Charter, functions as part of a single integrated whole. The resilience of this architecture has been tested through centuries of internal tension and external conflict. The federal capacity to mobilize national resources allowed the country to contribute more than 1 million citizens to the Second World War, including the landing of 15,000 troops on Juno Beach. This remains a state defined by the original mandate of 1867, peace, order, and good government. The isolated facts required for citizenship are simply the coordinates and boundaries of this structural model. Understanding Canada requires seeing this machine for what it is, an 800-year-old tradition of liberty engineered into a modern system of governance.